Welcome back, yo. Welcome back to another video, man. Today is going to be one of my realest, rawest videos yet by far, man. We are going to be talking about why so many men are trying, or why so many men get female nature wrong in a sense, or they try to understand it from just that sense, right? Just, oh, this is female nature. But I believe the easiest way to fully get a grasp of female nature is by female sexuality, right? And that really tells a lot when it comes to females. And by the way, if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to comment and subscribe. And if I should release a Patreon where it's just raw, uncut, let me know in the comments. But moving forward though, so let's start off with what women are sexually attracted to, right? And a lot of it is going to scare y'all, right? Like a lot of men, if you truly knew how depraved the female mind was, you would be appalled. Yo, they make strippers blush, right? Just your everyday girl next door vibe, that little nerd who you think is so quiet and who's such a sweet, delicate Deadline is reading books about some girl getting smashed by a half bull, a half human breed, right? Just very degenerate shit like that, right? But you would be like, wow, why are you guys attracted to that? That's kind of weird, right? But you have to understand that the female sexuality is very fluid naturally, right? A lot of women, as you've seen in clubs, they love to twerk on each other. They love to smack each other's butts. They love to women are far more open to a huge range of things that will turn them on, right? There are erotica books about falling in love or just about just really personifying things, right? Women can make anything sexual, but what a lot of females need, really, the driving factor is how that thing makes them feel, right? It's about the fantasy and the story, right? They can put themselves in there, and that's why erotica books are so big amongst the female population, bro. If you sort of read those books and just get a decent idea or a gasp of these books, you're like, oh, that kind of makes sense. The female mind is not rational. If someone was like, hey, go in a female's mind or a male's mind, I promise you would, like, if you go into a female's mind, you will get lost, bro. That shit is a maze, because you're like, what does this even mean, right? So when women read those books, several things unlock in their brains versus a guy, right? A guy can just see a naked girl, ooh, turned on. Wood is hard, bro. Wood is harder than a motherfucking, I don't even know, bro, but right? So different parts, for the frontal lobe, just all these different parts are activated, right? Their imagination start to run wild, and they are aroused because of the story and what it entails, right? If you are very experienced when it comes to women, that women are not necessarily, though they can be for sure turned on by the physical, right? But the reason why women get turned on by certain men is the idea, right? And that's why erotica books are so huge, right? That's why they have archetypes that they are attracted to, right? Because it's the archetype that these men hold, right? That they have, oh, the bad boy, he's so dangerous, he doesn't follow rules, he's above everybody else, he doesn't care about me, even though they would never say that, but that's the truth, right? He's so reckless, and I like that, right? Rather that may be consciously or subconsciously, those are what they're thinking, right? This guy is going to dominate me, right? He's going to be degrading and he's going to disrespect me, especially when it comes to in the bedroom versus in everyday life. Obviously, that's a little bit different, right? But in the bedroom, some women want to be degraded and just dominated to absolute oblivion, right? So that's why they go for certain archetypes versus certain women who are more, I guess, on the dominant side, right? Issues, right? they want to dominate men, right? They want to peg men. So they go for the more, I guess, the sub guy, that nicer archetype, right? The dude who's very much like just in the feminine so that they can dominate that, right? Because their fantasies, because what's in their mind about that archetype is that he's going to let me do all of this to him. And how that ties into female nature is the fact that, yes, women will treat certain dudes, obviously, by the way that they perceive that guy to be, right? If they view him as, whatchamacallit, he sort of aligns with what I have in my mind about this person, she's like, oh, please, take me, almighty one. Take me to Pound Town, almighty one, right? Do not let me go, right? There is 50 Shades of Grey. We know that book, right? It's about a billionaire, whatever, right? Who comes in to save this damsel in distress girl, right? And he wants to dominate her and show her all the finer things in life, right? There's that both masculine and feminine quality when mixed in, depending on who you are and the type of archetype that she's into, she will treat you accordingly, right? And that's why there are certain men that get the more, I guess, better parts of female nature versus other men can sometimes get, I guess, the worser end of female nature, right? Because if you look at any top charting movies that is, I guess, like female gazed, you can see that guy is usually, right? It really depends on the demographic of women, right? Because a more older, mature woman, she's probably working a lot. She's like, well, I just want somebody to take care of me now, right? So she's looking for more of that dominant Chris Hemsworth's guy versus a younger girl who her nature is, yes, I still want that pretty boy who's also a bad boy. Think young 90s Leonardo DiCaprio, right? Think about that, right? He was this pretty boy, but he was also a bad boy at the same time. And that's what younger girls are attracted to, right? That very clean cut, or at least generally, right? That clean cut, but pretty, but also rough at the same time, right? Not super built up and just macho and crazy, but still has an edge. So there's a lot of complexities here, right? It comes down to how the woman was raised, right? And all of that determines her sexuality and how her nature is when it comes to certain men, right? Some women are more because that's just how they were, or some women are more dominant because most of their lives they felt like they had to take the lead, right? They felt like they were fighting for their lives. So they want a man who relinquishes control so that they can dominate that guy versus, or she has to find a guy who is more dominant than her to really like overtake her, right? Because the truth is, even dominant women want to be dominated, right? But it comes down to the right guy and the archetype of guy who can actually handle her. And that's the truth about female nature, right? Females can fantasize about things you're like, that shit is foul, gang. Man, we have women fantasizing about werewolves, right? In full form, beating their cheeks, right? And it's all fantasy, but it's like the story, just like Beauty and the Beast, right? It's about this big, ugly beast and this dainty little girl, not in age, hopefully, right? But this small woman gets to try to fix this beast, right? This Ravenage, dangerous, perceiving to be very dangerous, but then he also ends up having a soft side. He's this beast, but then she calms him down, right? Just think about how that has the female mind going crazy, right? There's this whole meme online about really just about women who are very much obsessed with serial killers, right? Just think about that, how crazy that shit is, right? If you heard a girl killed a bunch of people, you're like, maybe I might not be so much attracted to that as much, but women are, I want to marry him. He can do me anytime he wants. He can delete me. He's so fine. He's so XYZ, right? They are fawning over these dudes because of their archetypes and the fact that they're dangerous, right? It's the same thing with Beauty and the Beast, bro. It's this dude, or it's this beastly creature who is dangerous or perceived to be dangerous. And it's like she spends that whole time trying to calm him down and to really, I guess, make the beast per se fall in love with her, right? So there's a lot of the, I can fix him. But the truth about that is you never let her fix you. Keep her going like Bob the Builder. Yes, we can't keep her trying to fix you, and she will have a forever life project, right? See, a lot of females, a lot of women don't necessarily like you for you. They like you for the idea of you. And that's the truth, right? There's this archetype about you or this vibe, right? That's why a lot of attractive men get haloed, right? A lot of attractive men, they have this perceived notion, oh my God, he has all these hoes, right? So it's like him picking me, I'm so honored. Oh my God, him doing this to me because I know that other women want him, but then I got him, and it's like there's that sense of boost, right? And a lot of women work the same way, right? There's a lot of hive mind going on when it comes to women, right? And that's just the damn truth, bro. And if you understand that hive mind, and if you understand female sexuality, because a lot of the hive mind comes from survival and wanting to fit in. It goes way back, right? Because if you don't stick in the group, then you're out. You're done for, right? Versus if you can follow what's in trend or follow suit, then your survival is pretty much almost guaranteed, right? So sure, there are very few people, there are very few women out there who think outside of the general norm when it comes to women, but for the most part, a lot of this female nature is the same. If you connect it to sexuality and fantasy and the idea versus reality, right? And it is right because it gets dark, right? Because there's a lot of the I want him to buy me roses and be nice and cute, but that's not really what they want. Obviously, I'm assuming if you're watching this, you probably already know that, right? So the moment you know that, well, yes, it could work if she finds you attractive, right? And that's the caveat, right? Right? Are you her archetype of men that she likes, right? And if so, you can pretty much do whatever, pretty much, obviously within reason, right? Don't be too nice, right? Because if you are attractive, she's expecting you. Yes, she wants that softer side, right? So she feels like, oh my God, he's so sweet, he's so nice. But then also you have that bad boy side. Fuck you, come here. Just fucking grab her, you choke her, and you kiss her, and you pin her down the freaking wall and all that, right? So you have to have those two balancing sides about you, right? That light and dark, just to keep her mind running, right? Constantly. Is he nice? Is he mean? No, he's mean. No, he's nice. No, he's sweet. No, he's an asshole, right? Because the more she's thinking about it, her mind is getting more and more turned on, right? So it's not just all about looks, but the looks create an archetype, and then obviously the personality, right, to what she perceived you to be. And that's why sometimes a lot of women will tend to punish you when you don't fit in her, I guess, fantasy or her archetype of men when it comes to personality wise, because you could look the part and not be the part to her fantasy. So I hope this video helped in some shape or form. I wanted to go a little bit more deeper into it, but for now, we're going to keep it cool. We're going to keep it light. But I hope that you got something out of this video, man. And if you enjoy it, man, don't forget to just leave me a comment or a like, subscribe. Blessings.